About 2 months after my initial visit to the Art of Animation Resort at Walt Disney World, I received a surprise invitation to join some friends from Boston who had a suite at the Bonnet Creek Resort. This gave me the opportunity to make a return visit to the Art of Animation Resort, where the newly opened Lion King section awaited my camera. I also learned a bit more about the big story of this fantastical place and made a better scouting of the food court and its offerings. I am not sure if they were new or different from my first visit, but I was very struck by the costumes of the staff this visit, and so when I entered and noticed one cast member in the lobby, I connected with her hoping for a photo op. She was playing with Mater, as I had seen before, but this time a bit different. She drives a small radio-controlled Mater around, chasing down the kids. In the back, under the hook, is a roll of Mickey stickers. The kids are supposed to know to grab a sticker off the back of Mater. She doesn't always show herself. Anyway, I love the costume, so I asked her to pose for me, and here she is. As I got to the end of the lobby, I noticed another cast member who was addressing a small group of people, and I zoomed over and asked if this was a private tour or if I could join in. At the point I joined, she was pointing out this great chandelier contraption, whatever it is. Frankly, I don't think it's that good looking, but it's an interesting piece. These drawings are original, real, actual sketches from storyboards for the various movies. These are the actual pieces they pinned up on the wall in the studio and told the story to sell the story to make the movie in the first place. Now, John Lasseter, who you'd better know, and if you don't know, why are you watching this video, had come to the resort before it opened to get a sneak preview. This had not yet been put up, and he actually autographed one, and it's up there now. You can find it if you look closely, and that is a real-life, actual, signed signature by John Lasseter, done right below that signature at Art of Animation Resort and now permanently displayed forever as long as Disney shall live. A cast member brought us into the ink and paint shop where she explained after the drawings were all done, they were brought into ink and paint, and thus the theming of this gift shop and this blurry picture. And this is where all the color is added. This is where Walt met his wife, Lillian. She was one of the ink and paint girls. That's the next step in animation. And then the big surprise was you move into Landscape of Flavors, and I hadn't picked up on this, but all these wall decorations I had referred to are the backgrounds, because that's the next step, is to do the backgrounds on which the animation action takes place. So you see, as you come in through the lobby, you get the start of the animation, the development of the drawings, the finished drawings, then the inking and painting of the drawings. And then the backgrounds. And then you go out on the grounds and you get the real life characters. So you've got the whole story here in the Art of Animation. And that's what we did. We stepped outside because our tour was also going to include a visit to an actual room in the Cars suite. They couldn't have picked a better suite for me. I love the Cars suite. I'd seen some pictures on the net. It was the one room I really wanted to see. We moved through Monument Valley and entered at Luigi's Casa della Tires. This is actually the entrance to one of the buildings, and inside you see the hallway lights are done in the motif of the cone. The room numbers are done in the motif of an interstate highway sign. And then we entered a suite. Now the first thing you enter into is this room that has the table in it mainly for the kids to color and play at, play games, whatever. The family can be there. 4 chairs, a table, and as most people probably know by now, that folds down into a bed. To give you an orientation, you know I love to do orientation, the door to the room is to the left of this picture. Along that wall you see, it's just out of frame. So this is where you actually step in right beside that desk. Through the doorway to the right of this picture is the master bedroom. Note the cone theming in the headboard. Nice little touch there. And this is the master bathroom with the fabulous, I just love the mirror. I love what they did with the mirror. That is just so fantastic. Now going back to that main room where I was standing, if you turn around, you're in the second room of the suite, and the fabulous couch here. I just love this couch. I mean, this is the guy's suite if ever there was one. If I win the lottery, I'm just going to move into one of these things and stay there forever. To the left is a floor lamp, which again has the theming, and the light switch for this is on the floor. You step on it, so that's very neat. And then to the right of the couch is the kitchenette. In front of the couch is this really nifty coffee table with a map of Radiator Springs and a hidden Mickey, and if you haven't spotted it yet, you'll have to go there and find it. Directly across from the kitchenette is the hanging area and the storage for the pillows for the pull-out sofa. To the right of that is the secondary bathroom, and again with the fabulous mirror, and the really good-looking guy in the mirror does not come with the room. Here's the shower curtain. I just noticed that. It's the fire truck hosing down McQueen. Cute. And I just made myself right at home. I love that couch. We stepped out right behind the sheriff. No sneaking out of this place. And got this backside view looking out. After this, I was on my own, and I headed over to the new Lion King section. I climbed up the stairs in one of the adjoining sections to get this overview of the area. As you can see, it's a much more foliated area, which is pretty much the main theming of this area. There is no pool in this section, and there is a kid's playground, but I'll have some comments on that when we get to it. This is the covering for the exterior staircases on the ends of the building. Pretty nifty. I mean, not theme-wise or integrated into the stairs, not very much, because it's basically just a barrier to block view of the stairs, but I think they did a beautiful job on this faux stonework. Rafiki welcomes you, and right behind him is Simba. You can see the decorations on the building are painted silhouettes and lots of foliage. And then the main theme of the courtyard, which is these three characters walking across this giant log. And the killer of this is the playground area, part of the playground area. But, I mean, as a kid, we used to climb buildings when I was a kid. That's what we did for fun. And this, you look at this thing and all you want to do is climb it. I mean, that's all I want to do. You want to climb up there and pose with the characters. And they've got not one but two signs saying, keep your feet on the ground, no climbing. And this is like putting an ice cream in front of a kid and saying you can't eat it. I just think that is ridiculous. Same thing in the Boneyard. This is the official play area. Beautifully built, but again, no climbing. Now, tell me you don't want to climb all over that thing. I don't care if you aren't even a kid. Unless you're like, can't get out of a wheelchair, you want to climb this thing. I mean, it's just so inviting. Look at that thing. I want to climb through those eyes and the skull, those bones. All there is this little cave that runs under that skull. I mean, that's cool. It's got that soft rubber ground too, which is really neat. But boy, you just want to climb that thing, and saying I can't climb it is just cruel. Speaking of cruel, we head down to the far end of the courtyard area, and there we got good old Scar, whom we all know and love. On the other side of Scar, to give you a little hope, I guess, is the bird. Who's the bird? I don't know the bird. Is the bird. And then I stood up on the bird rock, and I think it's okay to step on that rock. Somebody was trying to get me in trouble taking this picture, but I think it's okay to step on that rock because it sure looks like you're supposed to, and your kids get up there and you can shoot them with the bird. Who's the bird? God, that's going to bug me. Anyways, what I got there up on the rock was to get a little elevation and use my zoom lens to shoot into the final section that is still being built, the Little Mermaid section. And as you can see, this is different. This has the outside balconies because this building was actually built before they stopped construction in this area as part of the Pop Century thing. So it's using the Pop Century design. This is the single room building. This is where all the single rooms are. And it has the exterior balconies, and you can see they're working up the theming. Now, it's interesting, the degree of quality of the theming in these different areas is so vastly different. Clearly, with the Finding Nemo being the epitome of how far you can go with full 3D characters on the walls and just everything they could do. Cars is right up there too. That's got everything there. Then you get to Lion King, and it's just kind of a couple of statues in a big forest in the courtyard and a playground that you can't really play in. And then you get over to Little Mermaid, and they're kind of flat cutouts rather than the fully realized characters. This is the entrance to one of the Lion King buildings. Inside, we're using the leaf motif for the wall lights, and the leaf motif for the room numbers. And heading back out, we have Simba overlooking his Pride Lands. I grabbed a shot of the Finding Nemo pool and Ornament Valley off there in the background. And then I had to stop in the men's room. I don't want to share a lot of the men's room with you, but I do want to share this wall tile. Isn't that fabulous? These are 1-inch glass tiles. Just struck me as fabulous. Then back to Landscape of Flavors. Give you a little bit better tour of Landscape of Flavors this time. Here's the overall menu. This is the create your own smoothie. It's a shake with fruit in it. And you can see all sorts of different things you can add into it. Then next to that is the sorbet, or some kind of ice cream. It's not real ice cream. It's one of them European things they call ice cream. If you want ice cream, eat American ice cream, okay? Over here we've got the soup, salad, and sandwich bar, and a couple of enthusiastic cast members welcoming us to these delightful and very healthy treats and delicacies from which you can choose. And you can see this is all fresh stuff, freshly made. They make it to order right there and then. There's some of the toppings you can have and the dressings. There's some of those famous Disney deep kettle potato chips, which are so good. And they've got a large selection of beverages. And then over here, we've got some more food choices. There they are on the plate. That was them cooking. I forget what they are, but I know the thing I wanted had gluten in it, so I couldn't have it. Then you've got the burger section, which is every variation on a burger you can imagine. You could probably even get one of them heart attack burgers if you wanted to. These are the digital signboards, which go through the entire menu again and again and again, and offer up this little treat. I don't know what that is, but boy, I want it, but I probably can't eat it. Doesn't that just look like something you want? Okay, create your own smoothies, create your own pizzas, create your own sandwiches, pizza again. Okay, and here's Allison bringing out my custom gluten-free pepperoni pizza. And she didn't burn it. I didn't tell her to burn it this time. I didn't tell her New York. I didn't tell her to... I did actually inquire of everybody at the pizza counter if anybody even knew what a New York pizza was. And one guy said he knew it was thin. It was a very thin crust. I said, yeah, and it's burnt on the bottom a little bit. And he pointed out to me something I didn't know. The reason is because they were doing their pizzas in coal-fired ovens, which, if you think about it, I think the first pizza parlor in New York City opened in the late 1800s, and coal was what they had for ovens back then. So that is part of the reason why the New York pizza has the burned bottom on the crust, which is delicious, by the way. It's the way to go. Raised down on 4th Street. But pretty much any pizza place in New York is going to beat a pizza anywhere else in the world except Mama Regina's in Boston, in the North End. So here's Allison bringing me my pepperoni pizza. A couple of random shots out there. Now, see, look at the quality of the wall decoration in the Finding Nemo section. I mean, that is just fantastic. Look at that. Oh, man, I love that. And there's the end cap. That's another stair covering. Again, not as quite as creative as over at Pop Century, where the stairs are actually integral with the stair covers. Kudos to Pop Century on really working those stairs into the icons. And I hadn't gotten this before. How could I miss this? All together now. P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney, New Zealand, Northwest. No, Sydney, Australia. What's that NSW? Okay. It must be a thing. I went back over that evening with Shauna. Shauna is the daughter of my friends from Boston. She had wanted to go in the pool. Nobody else wanted to go in the pool. I went in the pool with her, and the pool, of course, meant the slide. And we did the slide many, many, many times. And I went down head first once, and the lifeguard yelled at me. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm 60 years old. I don't need some young punk telling me how I can go down a water slide. But then I'm also thinking, I'm 60 years old. I've done this slide 6 runs now. I'm pooped. And Shauna lasted a few more runs, and then afterwards I was just so hungry. I said, I got to get me a cheeseburger. There was nothing really over at Bonnet Creek that appealed to me, so I said, I'm going over to Art of Animation, Landscape of Flavors. I invited everyone to join me, but only Shauna wanted to come. So Shauna and I went over there, and she'd never seen the place, so I said, let's go take a look at Cars Land. It was a little sprinkly out here, so we've got Cars Land in the evening with a little bit of rain. I also picked up a couple of details I hadn't. There's a gate into the pool. I hadn't seen that before. Note the toppings on the gate. Interesting. I hadn't got this shot. And now this is McQueen's girlfriend with the lights on because it's evening. Sarge also has his headlights on. And this is the other gate on the other side. Radiator Springs Chamber of Commerce. This is good. This area is so great. Cars. I'm just going to move into cars when I hit the lotto. Lotto officials, this is a worthy cause. Make sure I win. And this is from deep inside Cars Van, looking out. Just a view I haven't seen anyone take, and I thought it was pretty neat. Shauna kind of likes Mater. Shauna's a natural model. She ought to be a model when she grows up, or right now for that matter. She's great. And then on the way out, think Sheriff Slow. You won't get busted. Think again, because he's not rusted. Rusty! And there's Sheriff off to the right there, just waiting to nail you on the way out. Back over to the Landscape of Flavors, where Shauna had a salad while I waited for my gluten-free cheeseburger. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. First, about the salad. This salad, which she basically just had some lettuce and a couple of olives and some corn. Not very much. This was the most expensive thing I bought at Landscape of Flavors. This was like $11. My gluten-free pizza had been $7.77. My cheeseburger ended up being about $10. And this salad, which was nothing but a bowl of lettuce, basically, was $11. So that's where they're making the money on the salad. This is Chef Andre. Now, I was asking at that other counter about the beef thing with rice. So naturally, they had to call out the chef, Chef Andre. He came out, told me, no, I can't have that. I said, blah. I said, well, can you do me a cheeseburger? And he said, yes. I said, okay, just do me up a good bacon cheddar cheeseburger, leave off the bun. He says, well, we've got gluten-free buns. I said, I've had your gluten-free buns. He says, well, we got a new one. They now have two types of gluten-free buns. One is the tapioca bun, which is acceptable. This new one is so good you want it. It is not acceptable. It is not something you put up with. It is something that is wonderful. And I am so thrilled. I can't wait to get back there and have another one. The one thing I did point out was it overpowers the other flavors enough that there should be 2 slices of cheddar cheese on the burger instead of 1. I also had them do up some fries. They have a clean fry later there. So I got this beautiful, beautiful bacon cheddar cheeseburger with a great gluten-free bun. I mean, just look at it. You can see that's quality. And well-done fries. And Shauna ate half my fries until I told her to stop. I said, you gotta leave me some, because I saved half that burger for back at the room. Normally, halfway through, I throw away the bun so I can finish just the burger, but I did not want to throw away this bun. This bun was so good. And, of course, we had to stop and press some pennies. I chose 4. Shauna got all 6 of them. I got the 4 I wanted. Then we also got this one. Penny got stuck in there. We got sick of waiting for the repairman to show up because nobody even knew who was in charge of this. They kept referring it to somebody else. And I said, when the parking lot guy gets tagged as who's in charge of this, I'm leaving. So I just went ahead and stuck another couple of quarters and another penny in there and ran it through. And this is what I got. A double hit, a double whammy, a double pressing. So that's kind of a unique thing. I'll put that on eBay 50 years from now and get rich. That's my retirement plan. And that was my second report on Art of Animation Resort.